104,000 race fans have jammed into Richmond International Raceway and Henrico County, Virginia, where the NASCAR Winston Cup Series is about to run its 25th race of 1999. The Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400 sees the championship battle getting closer and closer.
Dale Jarrett's Cinderella season seemed almost too good to be true. If he wasn't winning, which he's accomplished 4 times, he was logging top 5 or top 10 finishes. The timing was perfect. But then the clock struck midnight at Bristol, where the high banks not only ripped off his glass slipper, but crushed it repeatedly. Throughout the weekend, his quality care coach ran more like a pumpkin that had to be pieced together time and again. He had to hope that Darlington next week would somehow spin things around.
Dale Jarrett just pulled into his pit stall. There goes Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, the guys on the front stretch.
Wow, look at that. 15.6, John. Even those lightning-fast stops couldn't overcome the back pits and an untimely rain shower which served to even further tighten up the points. Dale Jarrett's season must seem like one of those heartwarming fairy tales. You know the kind. You know, Snow White couldn't have been happier with those 7 dwarfs. Lassie and little Timmy were the best of friends, and DJ and his band of merry men once held a 300-plus point lead in the standings. Then you know what happened? You got it. Snow White took a bite of that poison apple. Lassie got lost, and DJ had to spend back-to-back weekends at Bristol and Darlington. Now, stick with me here. If we follow this fairy tale scenario, we should be looking for a happy ending. Remember, the handsome Prince came out in Kent's Snow White. Lassie found his way home, and tonight, Dale Jarrett comes back to one of his favorite racetracks. Maybe has a flawless night, and maybe, just maybe, picks up his 3rd win in his last 5 starts here. Makes perfect sense until I remember, oh gosh, the ending of the movie Old Yeller. Now I'm worried again. Or maybe that's what Mark Martin and the guys chasing him in points are hoping for.
32-year-old Jeff Burton has emerged as this season's $2 million man, shining on 2 rainy days at Darlington and a $1 million night at Charlotte. This Jeff has 5 wins this season, tying him with the other Jeff for the series lead. Now the native son is back home in Virginia, where he hopes to continue his reign as the race winner and championship contender. But it hasn't always been home sweet home for the Burton boy. In May, he led the most laps, but finished 37th. Dale Jarrett ran away with the win and took the point lead away from Burton. Tonight, the Exide team is all charged up to defend their title and try and make a run at the series title. So you think Jeff Burton is a 1,000,000-to-1 shot to win the championship, huh? Well, that's okay, because the million's been his lucky number this year. Twice. And, of course, he got to his home state track here on Thursday, and you know what that was? It was 9-9-99. So maybe the numbers are working for him this season. So here are a few more. 5 top 10s in his last 7 starts here, including a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Yet inconsistency is still his biggest enemy. In his last 6 races, 2 top 10s, plus a 36th and 37th place finish. He's 6th in points, just 81 out of 3rd. He's 7th on the grid. After last week, Jeff Burton came to Richmond with a lot of capital and a brand new car. Tonight, he hopes to decrease the point deficit with a surplus of speed and cash in with a victory in Virginia.
Robert Lutz, Chief Executive Officer of Exide. And now for the most dramatic words in the world of professional sports, here is Robert Lutz.
Gentlemen, start your engines! 5 of the top 10 qualifiers in tonight's race here at Richmond have never won a Winston Cup points race. But when we look at the guy that's on the pole tonight, that's Mike Skinner. He's got 2 trophies to his record. Those both came from races in Japan. Mike Skinner is on the pole tonight, the 4th of his career. But it's the first time he's ever had a pole on a track smaller than 2.5 miles. Most everybody believes that Tony Stewart's first Winston Cup win could happen any time. Both drivers up here on the front row know that they can't paint themselves into a corner. They have to keep hammering away at the competition. The team needs to cut 4 or 5 great pit stops, and maybe, just maybe, one of these guys will nail down their first victory. Now, row 2 has Mr. Richmond. That's Rusty Wallace. He's a 6-time winner here, and he's reeled off 14 consecutive top 10s. Rusty is bound and determined to score career win number 50 before Jeff Gordon.
But there are 40 others hoping to win here tonight also. And Ray, all pit stalls are along the front stretch here at Richmond International Raceway, unlike last week at Darlington, when those pitting on the backstretch were at a decided disadvantage. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. And NASCAR, the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, invite you to settle down for an evening of racing. And we'll see if Dale Jarrett can stop the trend that has seen his lead reduced to only 168. 4 of the top 10 separated by 31 points or less. We will run 400 laps here tonight for a purse of almost $2 million. The pit window between laps 115 and 125. Dale Jarrett holds the race record. Now let's take a look at the Everstart Walmart lineup. Mike Skinner has his 4th career pole and 2nd of 1999. Tony Stewart will be on the front row for the 5th time this year. In the 2nd row, Rusty Wallace with 6 wins here alongside is Bobby Labonte. I'm Bob Jenkins. Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons are in the booth with me here tonight. Qualifying, of course, was last evening. We see a lot of good drivers, Ned, that have qualified for the middle or the back of the pack.
Yeah, I don't think it matters where you start here, Bob, to have a chance to win. Of course, if you're farther back, you do have a better chance of getting caught up in someone else's problems. But this racetrack is wide. We've seen in the last couple of nights here that 2-groove racing on the bottom and the high side. It seems that there's more passing on the high side now than we've seen in a long, long time here at the Richmond International Raceway. Just depends on how you got your car set up.
And if these guys that start back there in the 11th row, 12th row on back, if they can just find that perfect setup on the bottom of the racetrack, there's not going to be anyone down there. Well, very few cars are going to be down there because the top groove up on the top of the racetrack seems to be the fastest way around. The last couple of nights, that's what we've seen anyway.
Ricky Rudd will start the car tonight. He did not qualify it. Dick Trickle did. Ricky has had a bout with food poisoning. Dale Earnhardt steps way back on the inside of row number 17. Now, nobody who tried in second-round qualifying was able to get into the field, so essentially, the way we left you with qualifying yesterday afternoon is the way they will start, and you're looking now at the provisional starters with Robert Presley beginning from the 43rd position. We have 5 drivers that were unable to qualify for the field. Jack Sprague in the 45 car, from which Rich Bickle was released last week. Dave Marcus, Hut Strickland, Stanton Barrett, and Tom Baldwin were also unable to get into the field. How about our on-board cameras, BP?
Todd Bodine, the State Fair Corn Dogs onboard camera, starts back in 34th. Sterling Marlin, the Coors Light onboard camera. Sterling starts 25th. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Budweiser onboard, starts in 21st. Mark Martin, the Valvoline Ford, starts in the 20th position. Dale Jarrett Ford, Quality Care, trying to increase that points lead, starts in 13th. Jeff Burton, the Exide Batteries Ford, starts in 7th. Bobby Labonte is carrying her Circuit City onboard camera tonight, starts in the 4th position. Rusty Wallace, Miller Lite, starts in 3rd. And on the pole, Mike Skinner, the Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse,